Hi everyone. The other day I was cleaning up my bookshelf and came across this book that I fondly remember, Offshoring IT Services, that I wrote way back in 2004, 20 years ago. Hard to believe that it's been 20 years since this book was published. At that time, I was a project manager working for Infosys, their software engineering and tech labs, set labs back in Bangalore, and focused on the R&D side of the services industry. I got pretty deeply involved in offshoring IT services, and decided to take copious notes, which kind of morphed into this book. I approached a couple of editors. Tata McGraw-Hill decided to publish this, and the first print run of about 5,000 copies sold out in the first year. Infosys kindly supported the book and this venture, bought a lot of copies for our clients and marketing teams, handed them over, went on to give several talks at forums like the PMI conference in Singapore, a couple of conferences in San Francisco, and at client meetings. And the other day, I was reflecting on the state of offshoring IT services in the past 2 decades. My personal career and that of companies like Infosys, what we now call the rich services companies, and the overall software services industry in general. And it has been a fascinating journey and ride since the time this book was first. Back in 2003, 2004, when I was with Infosys and my book was just published, the company had just turned a corner and had announced revenues of $1 billion. The first Indian IT services company to cross $1 billion in revenue. Of course, a lot has happened since then. I spent about a decade since then with the company before I moved on. And the company grew from $1 billion in revenue back then to about $18 billion now. And at that time, we had about 12 to 15,000 employees, and now it's close to 130 or 300,000 employees. This is a humongous growth. And if you see, Infosys is just a bellwether of the services industry, not the only company. A lot of other these which companies have followed a similar trajectory. So maybe the question that comes back: what does this tell us about the state of offshoring and offshoring IT services, and where we are now as compared to maybe 2 decades ago? Offshoring IT services continues to thrive. Quarter after quarter, IT companies continue to announce stellar growth, single and double digit growth, and their voluntary attrition continues to be in double digit, which means the industry out in India and the offshoring industry in general is thriving. The captive IT, which is multinationals across the spectrum, have offshore development centers in India. Which companies, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, HCL, etc., employ hundreds of thousands of employees each, and each of them has billions of dollars in revenue. The FAANG companies, the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, source their work to the ODCs, their own offshore development centers, and indirectly to which. So, a little known fact: did you know Apple and Microsoft outsource millions of dollars of work to Wipro, TCS, and Infosys while managing their own captive IT? So, in a sense, they are really large clients of which companies also. And the global consulting companies like Accenture, IBM, Capgemini, Deloitte, and others employ hundreds of thousands of Indians. The offshoring industry is thriving and pretty vibrant. If you look at quarterly announcements, even this quarter, in the first and second quarter of 2024, uh, it has grown tremendously, and each of these companies have shown single to double digit growth, billions of dollars in revenue, which just shows, whether you're a tech professional just starting off, a mid-career professional, or a veteran like myself, the industry is uh, going to continue in the same trajectory. There may be bumps along the way. There may be, a bit of a swing up and down. But if you are going to bet your career on the industry, this is the one to bet on. So when I look back, the ideas that I had then are still valid even today as they were relevant 20 years ago. Industry continues to grow and thrive, but the fundamentals still remain that we continue to build on.